Hello, welcome back to the channel. I am back in Australia from America. I went home to visit family for a bit, and I really wanted to sit down and recap it because I just realized so many things that just made me really uncomfortable or made me feel really out of place going back to the US that previously never was an issue, as in reverse culture shocks. So these are my reverse culture shocks of going back to the US after moving to Australia. Also, I am not in Hobart right now. I am in beautiful Canberra, and I will explain everything in the next video. But for right now, we're gonna chat culture shocks. I got a coffee. So this trip home, more than anything, I realized how extreme the tipping culture has gotten. So I knew that the tipping culture has become a bit more, I don't know if aggressive is the right word, over the last couple years since the pandemic. Like when I was growing up, I was told like, okay, if someone gives you amazing service, like table service or something like that, 10%. And then as I went into uni, it, with inflation and everything, went to 15. And then post-pandemic, at least where I was from in the US, it was 20%. And leaving the US beginning of 2022, I had no qualms about it. I was like, nope, this is the norm, you tip for this. And even going back to the US, because I've been back to the US a couple times since I've moved over to Australia, and it's like stood out to me a little bit, but I kind of just like put off the side, like, you know, I grew up used to it, so it's not that big of a deal. But I don't know what it was this time around that the tipping just felt so out of control. I've never been chased out of a bar aggressively for being told that I didn't tip enough, when in my opinion, I felt that I was receiving zero service at all. I had to go find my own glasses. I had to go find the bottle of wine. The customer gave it to me. And then a random person, I don't know if they worked at the bar, followed me and my brother across the street and approached us and was calling us mean names. And that's just never happened to me before. And it's really jarring going from Australian culture back to American culture, that's for sure. Like another example is I was at the airport and it was a self-serve kiosk, and I scanned my own item. I was paying at the FPOS machine, and it was like, do you want to tip? And I'm like, but who am I tipping? I went and I got the item, I'm scanning my item. There's not even like workers like around to like make sure if anyone had any questions or like if there's technical issues, like there's really no one. I'm like, who am I tipping? Am I tipping the robot? Like, I'm genuinely confused. And there's also so many like hidden service fees now in the US that I experienced and stuff. And I also want to preface, I completely understand that there are still so many industries in the US that are severely underpaid. Well, I mean, unanimously worldwide, but specifically in reference to like the service industry in the US, I completely understand. And 99% of the time, I don't have an issue tipping, but I think now it's just become so out of control and it's really overwhelming. Number two, just the service industry in general is so different. The level of service, like going off the tipping thing, on top of the increased frequency of tipping in the US, I also feel like the service has just gone down severely, like the standard of service, which again, to play devil's advocate, I understand and agree that service workers in the US very much so deserve to get paid more, but also I just feel like in Australia, the minimum service standard, as a result maybe of the increased wages comparatively, the service standards are just so much higher. Let me know if you have noticed that too, if you've been to both the US and Australia and have noticed differences in just like the service standards. Like I commented on this last time I went home to the US, and I was just not far from where I'm from in New Jersey, and there was like a kiosk that, it was like a self-serve kiosk at a coffee shop, and it kind of took me aback that the person behind the counter like didn't even greet me, didn't even look my way. I was just at like the self-serve kiosk and then asked for a tip, and I was like, I mean, I tipped, but I kind of felt a bit uncomfortable. I don't know, it would have just made me feel a bit more comfortable if you said hi or like looked up from your phone. I don't know, maybe I'm just being like really nitpicky, or maybe we're just really spoiled here in Australia with genuinely how lovely most service experiences are here. But next up, reverse culture shocks. Cafe culture, woo! Again, I've commented on this in the past, but the fact that in Australia it is so custom in so many cafes, the barista brings you your drink and you don't have to clean the table yourself afterwards, whereas in the US, most cafes that I've been to, it's custom that you go up and get the drink yourself and then you bus the table yourself. There's bus bins, and some places even have like sanitizer bottles and cloths to wipe down the table yourself. And also, to preface, in the US has a tipping culture as well. So when I first posted about this, a lot of people were like, well, what are you tipping for if you're cleaning the table yourself? I'm gonna leave it open-ended. Please comment below. It's just, I don't know, I just felt like this time going home, it was really disheartening because I just feel so much more welcome and at home here in Australia, and especially as time has passed, going back home, it doesn't like feel as natural and as seamless as like previous times I went home. I mean, if you want to do like a number 4 of reverse culture shocks, like drink sizes, the amount of times that I would get a coffee when I was home this last time, and they were massive. And growing up, I had like no issues about it. I was so used to it. Even the last couple times I went home, I was so used to it. And then this time, I don't know what it was, but this is massive. I ordered a small coffee and it is like bigger than this. And I felt like I was struggling to finish the coffee most of the time. Like I felt like I was half drinking it because the small is so massive, especially for iced drinks. Oh my God. I just feel like so spoiled here in Australia and just beyond grateful. And I'm sure there's like other reverse culture shocks that I've noticed. And I would love to just hear in the comments, like if there's anything that you've noticed like going to the US, or if you're from the US coming to Australia, because I do find that really interesting. And you guys know me, of course I'm gonna comment about it, and I love making videos about it, but it's just like, I mean, none of these topics are revolutionary, like none of these are like prime original topics, but it just really got to me and just really caught me off guard, especially getting chased out of a bar, violently yelling and calling myself, Brady, and my brother names because this person didn't think that we tipped enough. Yeah, it just makes me sad because it's like, I understand both sides. I'm just going back to the tipping thing. I understand both sides to an extent, working in the service industry in the US for however many years, how much it does suck to feel like you're doing so much but getting nothing in return, like pay-wise, benefits-wise. I understand that. Obviously to an extent, because disclaimer, like everyone's situation is different, but also coming from Australia, I'm just like, I love when I go into a cafe and people look up and acknowledge my existence or say hello. I'm not expecting like a red carpet and someone to ask me about my life story, but I love a greeting. It makes me feel so welcome and so comfortable, and it just makes me feel heard. And I just love the experience of going to a coffee shop. You guys know me. And yeah, I don't know, I just feel like I felt like I left the US quite deflated. But I'm back in Australia. I have so much to update you guys on. Yeah, I'm still in Canberra, which is, I feel like if you've watched my content before, you're like, why is this girl in Canberra? Doesn't she live in Tasmania, or is she moving, or what's going on? And yeah, please let me know in the comments if you've realized any of these culture shocks or reverse culture shocks, if you're from the US but have moved abroad and have gone back home to visit and things have like stood out to you now that didn't previously. And also leave me comments of questions you want me to chat about or address in more of like an updatey video. But I had this footage, apologies for the echo, from this lovely trip I went on when I was home in the States with my brother and Brady on a road trip to Vermont that I still really wanted to share. So if you want to stick around and watch that, we went to Ben & Jerry's and it was a blast. And I appreciate you guys, and here's past Ashley. Vermont. Let's do this. Like and subscribe. Greetings from Vermont on a brother, sister, plus Brady trip. Road trip. Just went to Crew Coffee. We're in Burlington. We've kind of done a bit of like a New England loop. We were in Maine for like two and a half days. Now we're in Vermont, and then we're back to New Jersey tomorrow. I'll insert some clips and photos and stuff. We had a lot of fun in the snow yesterday going through the White Mountains in New Hampshire. And we're gonna go do some very Vermont things today. And who wants to reveal what we're doing?
Sugar Shack! We're doing that Sugar Shack.
In English, please? Okay, you guys are no help. We're going to a...
Maison de sucre.
Sugar Shack. We are in the middle of nowhere in Vermont, and we're going to a maple farm. I'll just cut you out of frame, Kev. There's the sampler too. They can maybe for mom and dad. We'll see.
So, yeah.
Well, let's taste them first, and
Yeah, that's what I
if
mean,
one
that's what I
sticks
mean.
out,
Then-
then
Bourbon notes, it picks up some of the oakiness of the barrel.
thank you. So gorgeous out. We just did a tasting, got some goodies. Kevin asked what flavor the ice cream was when we're at a maple farm. Coffee.
Hi.
Hi. Do you want to be in the vlog? It's quite bright.
Do you want a Keurig with maple syrup?
Yes, please. Thank you. Come join.
There's ice on my chair.
Come join in my humble abode.
There's ice on this chair too.
You know, it doesn't even matter that it's Keurig coffee because it is damn good maple syrup.
And look at the view.
Yeah, look at the view.
I
And there's
swore.
goats over there for us to say hi to.
That was good.
OMG, look at that inclusion. This is all non-dairy.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
look at all
How
that.
many mini cups are we getting?
So many.
Yes.
And you could just buy the dough chunks.
Chonk.
Guys, we are at Ben & Jerry's factory, and I think this is Waterbury, Vermont. Look at all that flavor lineup. That is incredible. I mean, not all are available, but that's
Who's
fine.
gonna try the doggy ones? I kinda want-
Kev?
I will. Yeah. Sorry, it's been a hot minute.
Like 15?
She's 16.
No, take my hat.
Ah.
Here?
Yeah, so 16.
Oh, 16.
Yeah.
Right here tonight, Joe.
Yeah. I'm right back.
You are about 19. Okay, number 1 in the US sales. 2, 3. I don't think so. Fish food, tonight dough. See? seen that one.
It's I feel like I always say that in Australia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Tonight dough. Fish food.
One more time?
Oh, I didn't even know he had one.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Chunky monkey. Oh, they did a vegan one and it was really good. A
Yeah.
chunky monkey. That's the one with the little fish that I had. Chunky monkey, brownie batter. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. 10 out of 10.
What are you doing?
Getting a shovel.
Alright, 2 shovels.
Do you want one?
Yeah, of course. I'm not going to be left alone.
2 shovels, please.
Yes, chef.
Yeah, so I'll do the caramel cookie graham. Yum. Time to go to the flavor graveyard. Well, this one was only 2002. Coconut almond.
I've tried to bring it back 30 times as well.
Oh, it's among the temporariest. Have you had any of these?
No, because it's 1987. So they're born in 1987.
Well, I meant any of these in general. Like, have you had any of these?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, it is quite icy. Tennessee mud.
Ooh, the wild Maine blueberry.
Oh, R.I.P.
I would actually get that.
Yeah, sorbet. So sad. Yeah, I would have thought that it was quite popular, especially with sprinkles. Making a whoopie pie.
No, it's Napoleon Dynamite all the way.
Boston cream pie, R.I.P. Holy cannoli. Neapolitan dynamite. Ethan almond. So sorry for your loss. Peanut butter me up. I don't think I could get behind this one. Sweet potato pie. Swirls of sweet potato pie filling and cinnamon pieces. If they did like, well, I'm sure they have some sort of like pumpkin one, but creme brulee. Rainforest crunch. Pear. No thanks. Fresh pear ice cream. Thank you for visiting our dearly depinted. Thank you, Vermont. Lots of love. So in the tour, they kept having a lot of puns, like moving on over. If you want to take a lift up the vanilla-vator, which I feel like you guys will never let down.
We weren't allowed to.
You could have if you really wanted to, but we went up the steps instead. All of the puns. Thank you, Ben and Jerry's. That was lovely. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Leave me a comment about anything about anything and everything, reverse culture shocks, what's going on in my life. I guess Canberra because I'm here now. Vermont, have you ever been to Vermont or like parts of New England in the US? I would love to know. Please chat in the comments. I love you guys. Thank you so much for sitting through this rambly, chaotic video. Appreciate it. See you later.